Hello.
Steve, you there? Steve, you there, buddy?
Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here, bud. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve the Plumber, one of our first call-inners, or one of the first people to call into the show back in 2016, 2017. How you doing, buddy?
Doing okay, doing okay. How about yourself, Mike?
Yeah, I'm doing great. You wanted to come on this. You wanted to come on the show tonight. You asked me half a week ago, and you said you had something you wanted to share with us, or there's something going down. You want to share that with us?
Well, I don't know that there's anything really to share other than the fact that there's a lot of moving parts happening, and I miss Mike. I miss trends in the housing market. I know a few other people do, but for obvious and not so obvious reasons, that show came to an end. But that said, there's a lot of things going on economically, and I think all signs indicate that we will end up getting a new federal government. But we can't just think that we're going to get a new government and Pierre Poilievre's going to come in and fix everything within the first 4 years, let alone 10 years. It's way too far gone, and we're in a situation here where this is, you can call it the calm before the storm, if you will, but I think the next 12 to 18 months are going to be absolutely just gross for so many people from a financial standpoint.
Well, you understand, you've been researching, you've been looking at, you've been discussing, we've been talking housing market and this economic takeover for almost a decade now, bro.
Yeah.
And nothing's happened because they just don't want to stop the money laundering. They need the GDP to be propped. They need Canada's GDP to be high. And to do that, because we don't fabricate, export, we don't really do anything anymore, they're just exporting houses to China and BlackRock or other entities and corporations to buy up homes and leave them empty. And it's created these artificial shortages, and it's made homeowners wealthy on paper overnight, and it's destroyed the Canadian middle class.
Yeah, out your way in Vancouver, Fraser Valley, all those other wonderful places. It's you guys are in crisis mode out there to the point where in the last 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure Vince Gaetano had brought that up, but there's a few other people that I speak to as well that kind of echoed what he had to say. The last 2 or 3 weeks, you've seen a surge in listings hit the market, like a 20% surge. And we're not talking, $1 million homes. We're talking, average $2-3 million homes. And, let that sink in for a second. The average home out there, $2 or $3 million hitting the market. I'm not saying that's the average price, but the average,
Let me correct you. Let me correct that. $2-3 million home that you could buy in Alabama for $140,000.
Oh yeah.
Because when Americans are watching this, $2-3 million home, they think helicopter pad, tennis court, 3 swimming pools. That's what Americans think. No. This is $2-3 million home that you could buy in Alabama for $140,000. Continue.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So to the point where that market there, maybe not so much Alabama, but Texas, Florida, South Carolina is seeing an increase in Canadians actually going ahead and buying property there, and quite a few people that I know have bought property there and are currently just renting in the Canadian market have gone ahead and basically bought or built in one of those 3 locations, and they're just waiting. But now we have a problem with some Canadian banks shutting down non-resident bank accounts. But that's a story for another day. There's so many moving parts to this, and I think the end game is going to be sad to say, but it is probably true. You'll be happy and own nothing.
Mm-hmm. And we brought that up on trends in the house. We actually brought that phrase up in trends in the housing market in 2018.
Yeah. There was quite a few, headlines and zingers, if you will, that led the way, and then all of a sudden, people adopted that that language.
Or Canadian proper, American proper, Australian proper, right? I started coining a lot of these terms over the years, and using your home as an ATM machine. So much stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, and now just it's amazing what the government's doing with the banks and the lenders and everything else. The amount of houses that are being repossessed right now by the lender trying to secure their position is astronomical. And I asked myself, I said, why aren't any of these houses, hitting the market, 6 months later, 8 months later, after, the current owner just doesn't have a hope in hell and they've walked away and abandoned the property and the loan. Um, why aren't we seeing, the market just flooded with listings? They're suppressing it now, and
Hmm.
that's actually been confirmed through different levels of government and institutions, especially if let's face it, a lot of these houses are insured by the taxpayer um, for default. Yeah, subsequently, that's what we're dealing with right now. We're definitely seeing a surge in repossessions, but they're not hitting the market. They are artificially suppressing it, and we know that to be true.
Well, unfortunately, unlike in the United States, where if a house goes to bank sale, most of the time it's sold at a reduced price, and the banks just want the taxes or money owed or whatever is on that property. They just want to get their money and get out. Unfortunately, in Canada, we don't got that opportunity here. If something goes to bank sale, it sells for a ridiculous amount of money that we can't even afford to get into in the first place. So it's like they're giving it, oh, I'm going to give you a deal. You see this $800,000 house here you could buy in Florida for 90 grand? We're going to give you that $800,000 house for 750, and you're getting a deal. And that's how it is in Canada. There's no wiggle room. There's no way around it. Whether you're getting your car fixed, whether you're getting your home fixed, whether you're getting a repair done, or whether you're going to see or get something done, everything is always 20 to 50 times the price.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, you're absolutely right, and you're going to like it, Mike. You have no choice but to like it. And if you don't like it, well, then they may just, turn off your car one day. So try to stay with a gas car as long as you can.
Well, I wanted to bring. Oh, I'm going to die with a gas car. I wanted to bring something up that we brought up in 2016 on trends in the housing market. We were discussing a added value tax or a city tax, or remember we talked about a city tax is going to come to cities near you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That was a big discussion we had back in 2016, where we're talking about how you're going to have your federal tax, your provincial tax, and you're going to have a city added value tax on there. Like they were talking 2-3%. We were talking about 2-3% at that time. And now it's happening. They're trying to slip it on people's receipts at restaurants as carbon tax, like all kinds of weird shit. But it's happening, Steve. Everything everything we foretold is now coming to be.
Yeah, it's unfortunate right now with what's happening with respect to the surge in capital gains taxes. It's not just people getting hit with their family cottage that have been in it's been in the cottage for 3 to 5 generations. That's not what we really have to be worried about. We have to be worried about our professional people, mainly our doctors, in Canada, because what's going to end up happening is a lot of those doctors all have professional corporations, and the way that a professional corporation ceases to exist is their retained earnings are taxed at a far less rate than what an individual would be taxed at. So if that professional corporation for your family doctor, or a surgeon or whatever you want to call it, goes ahead and retains X amount of dollars, pays tax on that, and then they use that money within their corporation and deploy it for investments for the purposes of long term, so that actual professional person can go ahead and subsequently pull money out of their professional corporation when they go to retire, because they're not going to have any pensions. All of a sudden, you're getting taxed at 67% with respect to your gains on any and all investments. That's pretty harsh. We're going to see our doctors start to leave in droves. They don't have to stay here. They don't have to. The U.S. will back up the truck. I too, similar, am also thinking about doing the same thing. I don't need to be here. I have a very successful business here, but you know what? I've also made a considerable amount, and I could sell everything and go down to Florida, go down to Texas, and make considerable amount of money, and not be taxed to the point of no return. No carbon tax, no capital gains, not getting taxed at 58 or 60%. It's just, we're being taxed to death. People are going to leave. They're not going to sit around and take this. Canada was once a pretty good country, but regrettably, that was after 2008, everything kind of just went downhill.
Yeah. Well, here it is right here, what we were saying. This is a video, this is a replay from October 10th, 2016, when I was still living in Vancouver. Wow, big predictions, housing playback, major inheritance tax and capital gains tax ahead. And that video was from October 10th, 2016, when we were telling you that. And if we type in tax to death, that's something we have been talking about on this channel. Toronto taxed to death, turning city into empty shell as rents going up 4 years ago. Carbon tax wars explained. Trends in the housing market, taxed to death, mass exodus of young families, inflation stir crazy. 2015 video, they will tax us to death. Obamacare scam, how rising taxes in the U.S. impact middle class. Tax to death, Canadian government attack on private sector, more tax hikes, 49% by 2024. And Steve, that video is from 6 years, 9 months ago. So it's all coming to light. It's all coming, buddy. It's all coming. I don't want it to come, but it's here.
Yeah, it's not a great thing, but it's just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse until we just stand up and say we're not going to take it anymore. We need a huge, huge tax overhaul with respect to the Canada Revenue Agency. This will only go on for so long until the professional people, doctors, nurses, tradespeople, they just leave. And without doctors, nurses, tradespeople, good luck.
Well, again, I don't want to toot my horn, but here goes, Steve. Canadian brain drain is real. Mass exodus of young families seek affordability in the United States. 6 years, 6 months ago. Educated Canadians are moving to greener pastures south of the border. The cost of living and taxes are driving many people away from Canada. That's 6 years, 6 months ago, brother. And Vancouver, Sydney, Australia, brain drain in search of affordability, mass exodus. Ireland, massive housing brain drain. It's happening it's all English-speaking countries. Middle class exodus from all major cities. London, England, brain drain, and skilled workers are leaving almost 7 years ago. So Canadian nurses leaving for Florida. Canadian brain drain and mass exodus is real 6 years ago. Yeah, it's crazy, Steve, and it's all coming to light. And you know what the funny part is? I can't even get more than 7 people to watch those videos. I got 7 views on them.
Yeah, something isn't right there, Mike.
It is what it is. It is what it is. The most censored man, the most censored. I've been noticing people that make predictions, whether they're right or wrong, it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. People that go on a predictive model when it comes to doing shows and on mainstream media usually are not allowed to be found for some weird reason. Right? So...
yeah, I can appreciate that. Well, it's really unfortunate that that's happened to you, and it's unfortunate what we're going through as Canadians. I wish there was an answer, but there really isn't at this point. Just have to sit and wait, and the Liberals and the NDP will definitely ram this through. With respect to their budget. Their budget wasn't well received, well respected. In actual fact, it just made matters worse. Canadians just aren't happy, and it's polarizing right now with respect to how bad Trudeau's done certain things. So I don't want to get flagged here, but I really do think the best thing is for that awful individual to step aside. And yeah, definitely quit. This is not good. He needs to step down. As his father said, go take a walk in the snow.
Yeah. Chris in the comments is saying we will have unqualified doctors and nurses here in Canada who have diploma mill credentials. This is what will happen very soon here. Now I'm gonna side with Chris on this because I haven't seen a doctor since 2019. I've had a virtual doctor phone call that didn't see me, that just talked to me. They were from Pakistan. They spoke almost no English. And I would ask them, okay, tú hablas español, me puedo hablar en español con usted, es mejor. They don't speak Spanish. Okay, você fala português, a gente pode falar português. They don't speak Portuguese. So there's no way, they don't speak the languages of the Americas, so to say. So I don't speak Pakistani, so I can't. So basically I needed a prescription for blood pressure medication, which I'm off of now, because I had to get off because there's no way to refill the prescription because they sent my prescription to a Walmart in the Northwest or the Yukon Territory, one of the territories. They sent my prescription to a Walmart up there.
Yeah, I guess that's the hard part about living in a small town like Merritt.
There's no doctor. I don't have a doctor. I haven't seen a doctor in years. I haven't done blood work since 2019, and I think there's in the town north of me, there's 53,000 people that don't have a doctor. So there's a huge doctor shortage here, and I'm paying taxes for healthcare that I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to get.
Well, it's not that you're not allowed to get it. It's just not accessible.
Yeah,
it just doesn't exist. Yeah, you're better off going to the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Do your kids have a doctor?
Oh, we don't have a family doctor anymore. We just don't have a family doctor.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well,
it's probably for the best, Steve. You know that, right? It's probably for the best in a way.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Yeah, Mike, you were right on a number of different fronts. Sometimes it's scary when you think back. You know, you review what was said, what was predicted, what was discussed. And I'm not going to say all of it came to fruition, but I was going to say, 75% of the time, things definitely came to fruition in one way, shape, or form. Maybe not to a T, but very, very close to it. I'm still troubled by the fact that you predicted COVID and the pandemic.
Yeah. To a T.
Yeah, it's actually quite scary.
I didn't call it COVID though because I didn't know what the name was.
No, for sure, but you predicted it. I just identified it as COVID. I meant with respect to you and calling that there was going to be a pandemic. Yeah, it's just unfortunate where we're at today is kind of scary. I really hope other people call in and give their 2 cents. I wish I had some more material to add. Perhaps I can call back in another time and be prepared to discuss further things. But yeah, it's I think that's all I got for tonight.
Well, it's been good. It's been a good stretch of 20 minutes of discussion, Steve, and I appreciate that. And you've been one of the founding fathers here on the channel from Trends in the Housing Market in 2015, right? So you're one of the original founding fathers on the live stream to come on and call in and actually give us on the ground perspective that we never had here on the show. And it was because of you that we woke up a lot of people, or we've helped a lot of people, or we've guided people over the years. So, and I appreciate you and your effort that you've put in for the longest time here.
That was very nice. That's some kind words. I appreciate that, Mike, and I'm glad I added value to your show. In about 2 or 3 weeks' time, there'll probably be some sort of announcements coming through with respect to the Bank of Canada in terms of how they're going to continue to deal with the mortgage issues and interest rates and everything else. So stay tuned for that. I've been told that in the next 15 to 20 days there should be something coming coming to fruition, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see what it is. I'm not sure, but if I hear prior to, I will definitely give you a shout and bring you up to speed, and
Please.
maybe we'll do a live show. But
Please.
so good to be with you tonight, Mike. I should run, and thanks very much for reaching out.
Yeah, buddy. God bless you, man.
You too, man. Take care. Cheers.
Right.
Bye.
Cheers. All right, folks. That's Steve the Plumber, and long time. We're talking a long time, a member of the channel, veteran founding father of the channel, here on Mike in the Night.